is the internet dying? I would honestly say yes. Yes, it is. Currently, it's the same memes, exact same viral videos, just constantly getting reposted and reposted again. The whole internet is gonna look like a 5 minutes craft video in a couple of years at this rate.
What if you could own a piece of the internet?
Don't
Not like
want it.
crypto or NFTs, but like actually a spot on the internet to call your own.
Okay.
Of course, you can make a social media account or a website by yourself. But what if slowly, without you knowing it, those things started to disappear?
Good.
So, there's a website called milliondollarhomepage.com. You're looking at it right now. This is a website that was made back in 2005, where you could buy a pixel on the internet for $1.
Oh, I know this one.
The creators set up a minimum of a 10 by 10 block, so for $100, you could put your own art, slogan, and a hyperlink to wherever you wanted on this website.
Nice.
The creator made this website in an attempt to raise money for college, and it worked. It was a resounding success. People went in droves to purchase a piece of internet history and get their own little corner of it that they could call their own. Almost all of the pixels were sold in 2005, and the very last 1,000 pixels were auctioned off to the highest bidder for a whopping $38,000 US.
Wow.
And now sits the $1 million homepage in its entirety. If you look right now on Google Trends, you can see that the website still gets views every day. Well, maybe not every day, but you know. Not nearly as much as the peak of its popularity, of course, but it's a cultural oddity that hasn't been able to be recreated since. Although it is still around today, there's something deeper that lies below the surface of this homepage. It's actually disappearing. If you look at the $1 million homepage, you'll see some get-rich-quick type of schemes, some phishing scams, some ads for online dating, and even an early 2000s smiley face. But let's...
Man, this is the classic stuff. Man, if you're on a site that doesn't show you hot single MILFs in your area, you're in the wrong set, my boy.
Take a peek back into the internet of 2005. Let's click this link right here. Oh. Well, let's try another one.
Nope, it makes sense, technically.
Okay.
Well, you
what
tried.
about this one? Oh, okay, well, that one works. But what seems to be happening here? If we look around, even the other sections on this $1 million homepage don't work anymore. Just the homepage is accessible.
Interesting.
If this seems strange, that's because it is. This graphic was made for a study by Harvard that shows just how much this website is slowly crumbling. If you overlay this image with the $1 million homepage, it shows you just how much of this site is actually reachable.
Okay.
How many links end in dead ends, how many end in redirects or redirect somewhere else. It also shows portions that more than likely aren't the original content of what was paid to be on the site. Luckily, according to this 2017 article, at least over half of the original links on this page can still be reached. But the number is still not very high.
Okay.
Out of the 1 million pixels on the site, 342,000 of the pixels, the links on those are unreachable. And an additional 145,000 pixels on the site redirect somewhere, or up for sale on some domain host. That means that out of the original pixels, 487,000 of the pixels, or 48.7%, are either gone, or moved on to become something else entirely.
Well, yeah, it makes sense if they don't have to pay a monthly thing to actually keep their stuff alive. Some people are gonna just close down their websites because what do they care that they're on this thing, honestly, to begin with? Because it's no longer useful for them because their site's gonna be shut down. So what?
This is a good example of how things on the internet disappear and continue to disappear until the internet becomes more dead than alive. It turns out there's a term for this phenomenon, link rot. This term describes whenever a link disappears or messes up or just doesn't work. Whether that's through redirects failing, changes on the back end and the servers, or the slow reduction of power on the link. Yeah, that's a thing. A comprehensive study was done by very smart individuals over at Old Dominion University in the Department of Computer Science.
Old what university?
Back in 2012, the roughly 2.5-year study revealed that, quote, after the first year of publishing, nearly 11% of shared resources will be lost and after that we will continue to lose 0.02% per day. And
okay, you need to explain to people who are as stupid as me what does 11% of shared resources mean? It's like 11% after of the website's history is not gonna be known or accessible after like a year. Is that what it means? Because I got no idea, boss.
And quote, by analyzing 6 different event-centric data sets of resources, we found about 11% lost and 20% archived after just a year.
Okay.
And an average of 27% lost and 41% archived after 2.5 years.
Okay.
Even back at the end of 2011, over 140 million tweets were made per day, and that number has skyrocketed to roughly 500 million tweets per day in 2023.
Wow.
With right now,
and all of those tweets are angry about something. All of those tweets are Americans being angry about being American. Can you imagine that? Ain't that something special, honestly?
Now, about 6,000 tweets being made every second. At the current rate of data archiving, the speed at which technology advances, and the cost of new technologies, you can easily see why it's hard to fight against link rot. According to textmetrics.com, the average internet page lives for about 100 days.
Okay.
The average site only lives for about 2 years.
Okay.
Links disappear at a rate of about 5% annually, and over the course of 20 years, it's estimated that 98.4% of links on the internet may experience some form of link rot. To give you
Doesn't that make perfect sense? Because, you know, we currently don't have the ability to just have infinity capacity for these things. No one wants to pay for upkeep on these things. Doesn't that make perfect sense, though?
Some perspective, because I needed this. According to those same studies, currently more than 50% of U.S. Supreme Court opinions contain dead links somehow. And over 70% of Harvard academic journals contain link rot in some capacity.
Yeah, also makes sense.
If you are lost in the sauce with link rot, I understand.
By the way, this completely doesn't surprise me at all, because it is completely not uncommon to use some kind of link as a source, and that link is, you know, not a Wikipedia article or whatever. It's like some kind of cutout from a journal from somewhere. You know, maybe some town's like historic archive or something, which they decide to not, you know, modernize, but just delete it and make a new one. Yeah, this makes complete perfect sense.
And that this is a lot of information, a lot of numbers just getting thrown around. I don't think
I wouldn't be surprised if you know, all the sources and links to internet resources in my bachelor's degree, like 50% or more of them would be inaccessible at this point. That's just normal.
It would be as deep of a dive as it was, but unfortunately, link rot is not the only form of the internet dying I wanted to talk about today. And this next section may hit close to home for you. Statistically,
is it gonna be
if you
memes?
have an internet connection, which you probably have to watch this video right now, you have probably made a Facebook profile at some point.
Nope.
Even if you've deleted it since, even if it's cringy, even if you made a bunch of them, even if your family made you one, whatever, you've probably had a Facebook profile,
making you a
as
Facebook
there are 2.8
profile?
billion users on the site. That's over a quarter of the people on Earth that have a Facebook account. The data points out that almost 1.8 billion accounts are used,
and all of those are old people. Can you imagine that?
Daily across the world. And even if it's not a Facebook profile, it may be another meta app, such as Instagram or WhatsApp. But as the web continues to age, if we don't find a significant solution, we may be in an awkward position in the future. This future is one where there will be more profiles of people who are dead than alive on Facebook. God, that actually just hit me again.
Makes sense.
As of 2012, over 30 million...
Wait, no, don't they the moment your microchip starts functioning in your brain, doesn't Facebook just automatically delete your profile because you're dead?
Million accounts on Facebook belong to people that are deceased. Jeez. It's estimated that almost 8,000 users on the site die every single day.
Yeah.
If the amount of new users on the site slows down as drastically as is expected or estimated in the coming years, Facebook may become a digital memorial by the year 2069.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because Facebook is currently only used by old people, and old people die. That's what old people kind of do. And you know, the government's not going to save old people. The moment you hit pension, the government hates you. They want you, they don't want you in pension. They want you in the ground, son. Someone has to take on the responsibility of, you know, feeding those worms.
While the internet itself may be slowly dying through link rot or other means, so are those who use it. But there's hope at the end of the tunnel.
Oh,
Facebook
that's
is aware that
optimism.
its users will die at some point. Everybody dies. Because of this, they've introduced a series of features and AI systems whenever a user passes. At that point, their page is no longer a page. It becomes a digital memorial to that person. And it's available to view, but not allowed to be invited to events, receive friend requests, or things along those lines. And you might stop and wonder if the memorial pages on Facebook will eventually be affected by link rot or go away or just slowly disappear. And the answer is an incredibly hopeful no. Even with the amount of data being put onto the internet daily, there are resources and wide libraries of information being made to fight link rot and the degradation of the internet as a whole. There are entire companies who specialize in cleaning up the back end and fighting link rot amongst other things, as well as the immensely powerful source of the Internet Archive and the Wayback Machine. If you go to the Internet Archive right now...
Controlled by people with an agenda, by the way, but you know, that's just something. So, the Internet Archive kind of works. Unless you want to know information about very specifically, strangely, kind of suspicious and dodgy looking famous people or extremely rich people you have never heard about. When the Internet Archive suddenly just no longer does anything. Yeah, that's very interesting.
You can see that the Internet Archive keeps them backed up for generations to come. Thanks to these resources, general maintenance on websites, proper archiving, and people quote-unquote cleaning up the back end, we have a bright future and a past we can look back on, hopefully in a positive way.
Yeah, probably not.
So, since the last time I recorded, another large form of the internet dying happened to come up. Elon Musk and Twitter, I mean mostly it's just Twitter, have decided to remove inactive Twitter accounts. Most people were under the assumption that the limit would be like a year or 2 years for accounts to be deactivated and removed. While the reality of the situation...
Wait, that makes sense. Elon Musk is a businessman. He understands that holding these inactive accounts doesn't do anything, technically,
it's much worse. As of recording this, it seems to be that Twitter accounts that haven't been active in 30 days have a possibility of being deactivated. This means that thousands, if not millions, of accounts, links, articles, tweets, and information in general are about to be affected and might eventually become lost content.
Nice.
That'll just be wiped from the internet. This is just another form of the internet dying. Even in the span of days, huge amounts of the internet can just be removed and deleted if it's not preserved. If you're afraid of your data or anything along those lines being removed, you can screenshot and upload tweets to the Internet Archive if you have accounts or tweets from family or friends that you wish to be preserved.
Yeah.
Let's not lose even more of the internet.
This seems, I'm not gonna lie, this seems kind of a little bit, everything seems here a little bit off. It's like, okay, yeah, the internet's slowly dying, who cares? Why do I care?
Alright, now back to the original video. And at the end of the day, there are some things that are just best left forgotten. We all probably have cringy or even scandalous posts we would rather not have people see. Some ideals have changed, some people's humors have changed, all of that. In fact, if you're a new subscriber, you may be seeing some older videos across the screen right now of me in my younger teenager years. They might be cringe, but thankfully, cringe is not a crime.
And cringe should be a crime, though, that's for sure.
Though it can be hard to look back.
By judging by cringe, we could remove so many useless meat sacks from this world. It would be great.
Not everything should be lost. There are stories upon stories about people scouring the internet for things that are simply gone now, or at least they think so. Note the rise in the discussion of lost media. Funny enough, I have a friend who had been looking for an Applebee's commercial of all things for almost 5 years, after the original poster took down the video off YouTube. Just last year...
Okay, I do understand parts of this, like, matter that, you know, like, canceled things, canceled cartoon episodes, things like that. Those things are interesting, but just the internet in general is not worth even saving or remembering.
He was able to find it in the advertising agency's reel that made the commercial. A small piece of lost internet lore has been found again.
Wow.
As the saying goes, the internet
is... Wait, if he found that If he found that it wasn't lost in the first place, it was there, but you get the point.
Forever. However, It's the things that are on the internet that are finite. I hope you didn't like this video. I know it was not nearly as humorous or as funny, and the topic was a little dark, but I hope you liked it still. If you did, please give it a like. If you're looking right now, in making this video about internet slowly dying, I stumbled across a dead link on the main search result for how many tweets are made a day. It was literally the second result. Here's a screenshot of it right here.
Dude, that's funny.
If you want to see me discuss other random things, check out my other video on how a death cult changed the English language. If there are any ideas for topics...
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, and comment below, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.